Do you use Linux? If the answer is yes, then probably you don't need to watch this video. You probably already know how good the Linux is and how beneficial it is for you to use it. So it's better to save time and watch other videos. People who actually use Linux don't use it because it's trend, it's cool, or it's a show off. It is cool in fact, but it's not their main reason. First of all, let me make it clear, you don't need to learn Linux in order to be a good programmer or a developer. But most of very successful programmers or developers have a decent amount of knowledge about Linux and how to use it. What actually is Linux? We are getting a little nerdy. In 1991, the same time that Soviet Union collapsed, 21 years old boy computer science student named Linus Torvalds in the University of Helsinki. He was using Minix, a small operating system using for education purposes. As a hobby, he wrote his own operating system. The reason was simple. He said the current OC don't give him enough freedom over the software and hardware. His main point was on hardware, so he built an operating system kernel that manages hardware and resources. Longest story short, he published it on the internet, open source for everyone to see and use it. People loved his OC and loved the idea of an open source OC. They contributed to the Linux, they added features, they fixed bugs, they improved the Linux. Over several years, the Linux kernel combined with the software from GNU project created the complete operating systems that today we know them as the Linux distributions, such as Ubuntu, Debian, Arch, Fedora Linux, and etc. And today that we are talking, most of the web servers across the world using Linux as their main platform. Nearly all supercomputers in the world use Linux as their operating system, the giant one that you see in the Microsoft, Google, IBM, and etc. And many people don't know that, but most of the Android phones use Linux, because you know the main kernel of Android operating system is Linux, and countless of web servers and embedded devices also use Linux. Linux wasn't created by a multi-million-dollar company, it's simply created by a 21 years old student who simply wanted a better operating system. If you are interested in such a brilliant and creative people that change the computer world, gaming, hardware, software, programming, and etc., you can watch this video. Why most of programmers can become elite. I explain it in this video. I really recommend you to watch it, it's worth the time. Okay, back to the main subject. You shouldn't love Linux because some cool dude made it. The first reason that you love Linux is because it gives you lots of control over the hardware. And at the same time, it gives you lots of control over the software too. You can use Linux easily without needing to install unnecessary software. And you can customize many things in your OC, so if you want to dig deep down, Linux is very good for it. Most servers run on Linux. If you are deploying on web applications, it's most likely that you are deploying it on the Linux. Even if the web application that you have created made by something like ASP.NET Core C# that both framework and programming language supported by Microsoft. So by learning Linux, you make it more easy for yourself to deploy an app on the server, and you also have more options when you want to deploy it on the server. The terminal is incredibly powerful, not just because it's cool, though it is, to be honest. It automates the repetitive works, so in less time you can do more, and it's very efficient for a programmer. Linux is open source, as I mentioned before. Programmers and developers love to know how things work, as you should. Having a strong curiosity is a good thing for a developer and a programmer. So in future, when you learn more, you can even develop your own kind of Linux and operating system. And Linux also has a good package manager, meaning you can install software, packages, libraries just by writing one line of code. More often, one line of code. And that's surprisingly fast and efficient, and it might surprise some Windows users. And about performance, Linux is much faster than other OCs, especially the one that created by the big companies like Microsoft and Apple. All their laptop or devices feel much faster and smoother on the Linux. If one day finally you decided to switch from Windows to Linux, you will notice the boost of that performance. As I said, you don't need to learn Linux if you're a beginner and just start learning coding. But the more you build software and apps, the more you realize why you love Linux. It's been a while I started learning Linux on YouTube. I found this course and it was very useful, and the guy that explains everything is very sharp. And it has a website that you can walk with, do the task, and experience everything. It's not ad of course, since my channel is very small, but I really recommend this video. And you don't need to be worried about removing your Windows. You can use Oracle VM just like I did, virtual machine, and just install the Linux on the virtual machine and work with it. And don't forget, I have a Discord server which is a good community for programmers. Don't forget to check it through the link below in the description. And if you heard a lot about Docker and you wonder, do you really need Docker? You can watch this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if this video was useful for you, and check the main page. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.